What's up, you guys? So we're here with my 2005 Lotus Elise, and today is the day before we actually get to go and ship this car off to Texas to get built, and pretty pumped about that. But I figured before it goes off on the truck, what I would do is do a quick little walk around, maybe even make a little montage, just kind of explain some of my thoughts and feelings about the car, you know, why I'm doing the modifications that I'm doing, sort of how I arrived at the car, and you know, what we're gonna do to it. We'll talk a little bit about that, and some hopes and aspirations for it. So do a quick little walk around. Again, love the way that this thing is stanced up. It's got the club spoiler on it, and you know, it's got some pretty cool raise wheels on it, super lightweight. Brakes on it are, you know, full floating in the front, running race fluid, full race pads, slotted rotors up front. In the back, it's got the conversion to, again, running front calipers plus the extra rear e-brake caliper. Same, actually no, I'm sorry, 1 degree less friction race pads. I think it's EBC orange stuff in the back. I think it's like some R1s in the front. Don't quote me on that. And again, a little bit lesser rotor in the back, it looks like. So, you know, again, just one of those sort of parts to be replaced later whenever it wears out. Running Toyo R888Rs, and back around the back, you know, everybody's favorite sort of Lotus diffuser. Gotta love that. And again, really cool Akrapovic center exit exhaust. I haven't really seen another Lotus running something like this, but it looks super cool. And again, just a really super aggressive rear end on this thing. Love the way it looks. And, you know, basically this is an interesting car because what I wanted to do with it was learn to drive right, learn a lot of the best practices, and, you know, sort of learn, you know, about how to really drive on a racetrack. I had more powerful cars before, and I hadn't really, you know, I wasn't really getting that much faster because I just didn't know what I was doing, right? And so everybody was kind of like, go out and get a Miata. And, you know, I thought about that pretty seriously. So kind of talk a little bit more about the inside here. Again, these are not the standard sort of tilt-in seats that everybody gets in their Lotus. These are some weird RCC seats. I didn't build this car. I actually quite literally bought this thing off eBay. And that's a pretty cool story in itself. I was looking around for Lotuses. The prices had gone way up. As everything has with the used car market. And I came across this car and I thought to myself, man, well, that's pretty cool. I can't find anything on the Lotus forums. I can't find anything in the usual places you would sort of look. And so I found this car on eBay on a total whim because, you know, like probably the most sketchy thing you can ever do is go buy a car off eBay. I kind of get a little bit of light going on in here. These seats are pretty awesome. They're actually just straight up plastic. You can see I put a 6-point belt over in the driver's side. I have not done it in the passenger side. That is gonna be part of this build, is to, let's see if we can get that shaking to stop. Try to get, you know, a similar 6-point harness in on the passenger side so that our safety's continued. I have 4 points on them. They ride up. If you've never understood the concept of submarining, whoever installed these belts, I will tell you, when you go forward in a lap belt, it pulls up that center belt right here and quite literally will kill you, I'm pretty sure. So it takes the pressure off of your pelvis, which can absorb, I don't know, thousands of pounds of pressure or something like that. And it moves the belt up to your belly when you get flung forward here. And basically it'll kill you because instead of putting all of the impact on your pelvis that can take it, it'll put the impact on your soft tissue in your stomach. And this car is a prime example of that. So, you know, again, in getting the car, when I was initially having it set up, I wanted to hit my first track day as soon as I can. And I wanted to also learn mistakes too. So I had him do the driver's seat. I wasn't really planning on having a lot of instruction for a while. And so, you know, as time's gone on, I've had instructors and decided, okay, obviously I need to, you know, keep an eye out for them too and just do it right. So a lot of this has been, you'll sort of see this concept, the concept of me wanting to learn. And, you know, again, pretty basic interior, pretty cool. Again, whoever had this car before, they pulled out the airbag. So you can see there's actually no airbag in there. And this is like a secret little glove box. I keep some driving gloves in there. I spent about $97 on a really, really cheap, literally the cheapest I could find screen so that I could have Waze on my way to the track, right? Because we got to know where the cops are. And of course, you know, steering wheel comes off, all that kind of fun stuff. It is an Kinetic shifter. I did have the gated 6-speed shifter, but I was at Sebring Racing and discovered that even though I had taken the gated 6-speed and I had milled it a little bit, it was, you know, it was moving around. So if you've got one of these, again, Greg's Race Parts, love Greg, he's been so supportive. But look, this thing, unless you really modify the way that it comes naturally, it just shifts around on you. So when you have the gated 6-speed in there, a little bit of a problem, because you know, on the street it's not a big deal, but if you're really trying to, you know, pull off fast shifts and heel toe, you know, the problem is that it'll move around on you a pretty good bit. So literally in the middle of my Sebring sessions, I pulled the car off, I said screw it, and I actually undid it, and then it solved a lot of my problems with it just hitting on the gates and the shifter lever getting stuck. You'll probably also notice that I pulled out the reverse lockout, right? You usually have a piece kind of like right here, and you have to lift up to get in reverse. I pulled it out. I wanted that super clean look with the gated 6-speed. It looks awesome. I actually used to have a Ferrari F355 and fell, you know, I'm totally in love with it. Big Ferrari guy, which, you know, is part of my story. And so, yeah, so basically just pulled it off, and frankly, it just looks badass. I just also have to shout out Greg's Race Parts. The quality of their carbon fiber is just so top notch. I mean, just look at that. It is absolutely a work of art. So huge shout out to Greg's Race Parts. Really big fan. And again, that guy will email you back. And you know, a lot of my initial parts kind of came out of him. So kind of some goofy stuff about the car. Somebody put a system in it. I thought it was kind of funny. These are like the smallest subwoofers I've ever seen. It's like 2JL 5 1/4. I don't know if they're really subs. I don't know if they're component speakers. It's definitely got the harness bar. I mount the camera up there. Use Track Addicts in my first iteration of learning the car, and you know, it does the job. It happens to have my home track. My home track is the Firm, Florida International Rally and Motorsports Park. Huge shout out to those guys. You know, they're just amazing people. You can get so much track time out there for so little money, and you know, the owners out there all the time. You know, the managers are super hands-on, and those guys really just love to teach people how to get better and better. And you know what? It's in Stark, Florida, so it's kind of central for me. It's about an hour drive from the house, and really lets me, you know, I don't know, pursue my racing hobby and racing passion, I guess you would say. So cool. On the interior, again, I also have, it's not really lit up right now, I have a GAWR dash. I don't know, it's kind of cool, but here's the problem. The binnacle, I'm not a tall guy, I'm like 5'8". The binnacle basically blocks the top part of the screen. So I got a really little, you know, little Sparco steering wheel on there, and you know, it's cool. It certainly is better than stock. I don't know how anybody sees the stock gauges, but you know, it's cool. But we're gonna step it up in the build. I'll probably do a separate segment on the actual build itself. Again, I assume this is like a touring package or some higher end level, because I don't have the crank up windows. Truthfully, I wish I did have the crank up windows, because you know what? It's a race car. You know, there's no going back on this thing, obviously, and you know, I just kind of generally wish that it's just one thing. Anything that's one less thing to break, you just appreciate that, because all you want to do is go racing. You don't want to deal with shit that breaks, and you know, that's kind of the story. So again, that's pretty much it for the interior. Really bare bones. I took out the footrest on the passenger side to make room. Sometimes I have taller instructors or taller people that ride with me. And I think that's really it. I mean, it's a race car. It's not really that much on the interior. On the body side of things, grab this light. On the body side of things, I'm just, again, huge fan. You know, if you're looking at a Lotus and you're like wondering, like, man, why does that look so different? Number one, the side skirts. You know, if you just have a regular Lotus without the side skirts, I happen to think that car it just doesn't look right. And then you get the side skirts, the front lip, and a wing, and a diffuser. It just really completes the look, especially if you slam it on the ground like I did. And just to kind of give you guys an idea, that front lip sits just about 2 3/4 inches off the ground. I measured it because I'm having a transport pick up the car tomorrow. And you know, it's just kind of one of those things where it just works. The stance of the car is awesome. I do not think I have wheel spacers on here. I do, however, I think I was told by the previous owner that these wheels may have been custom made for the car. You never know if you really believe that kind of stuff, but either way you cut it, pretty cool. Do a little quick walk around, maybe we'll do some editing or a montage or something, or who knows. I don't really know how to do video editing, I just think it's kind of cool. Again, one thing that the previous owner did is he built this car to track it. You know, there's a racing radiator in there to some extent. There's already a tow hook in there, pretty cool. This is the smartest thing they ever did, right? So really super low front lip, and they put some pretty hard PVC plastic material. I don't know if you can see this in the camera. I think you can. This is plastic, and they bolted it into the carbon fiber splitter. I've scraped this thing everywhere, right? I mean, it's a low car. I really do drive it on the street. And, you know, look, my whole point behind, you know, sort of iteration one of this car was to be able to drive to the track, you know, do the compromise. I got kids. I don't have that much time, but I want to pursue my racing hobby and passion and whatnot. So this is a really smart idea. I've seen people do it with wood, but it's basically high impact, commercial grade plastic of some sort. They bolt it on the bottom side. You stop cracking spoilers. And you know what? Hey, look, it's even like a little bit of extended aero. Why not? Cool. Let's see here. What else? Got the mirrors. You know, I think those are pretty cool. Again, the overall look, you know, with the car, carbon fiber side scoops. Like, I'm just a huge fan of the way the car looks. You know, when I was talking with the builder, there was even kind of an idea thrown out of, well, hey, you know, do you want to sell this thing and like go pick up a salvage car because you're just going to race it anyway? It's going to wind up on a trailer with what you're going to do. And, you know, I thought about it and I was just like, you know what, man, maybe I want to drive it to a Cars and Coffee one day. But more importantly, to replicate the way this car looks, I think it would be very difficult. So kind of getting into the engine bay, and here's kind of where our problem starts. So completely stock motor. It's got an intake. I don't know why, but somebody put an AEM meth injection kit on it. I don't know, maybe where there was racing, it was super hot. I do live in Florida. Pretty sure the car was, you know, up in kind of like the Indianapolis area when I bought it. Hey, who cares? Whatever it is, you know, sometimes you just think things are cool and they are cool to you, and that's all that matters. And I don't really think there's a such thing as a bad modification to a car. So, hey, who knows? Maybe we'll do something with it. Maybe we won't. I'll leave it to the builder. But basically, it's an intake and exhaust only car. There's really nothing big done to it. You know, I got it. Oh, and cooling, right? So we see there's some, you know, some cooling stuff done. Look, guys, I'm not like super mechanical, so bear with me. I'm just kind of, you know, thinking that before we go and do all the work to the car, it'd be kind of cool to document what it is. So, you know, nothing really big, right? Pretty stock on the power. And, you know, I'll talk a little bit more in a couple minutes about sort of, again, like why this was the right car for me. In terms of really kind of moving, you know, and getting more serious in my sort of racing dreams and desires. So cool, you saw me just put the battery cut back on. I might drive this car maybe once a month, maybe twice at best, just for fun. I'm gonna take it for a little joyride. I got something I gotta drop off at the post office real quick. Just got some racing numbers in. Kind of a really cool thing. This is my horn. I got it aftermarket. I have been able to do a couple little things to the car since I've got it. But one thing I did not really feel like dealing with, and because I knew the car was going to be built, was the car did not come with a hooked up horn. And so I figured, well, if it doesn't have a horn, or at least not one that's hooked up, why don't I go have a little bit of fun with this? So I picked up the exact horn from a Ferrari F355. I used to have that car. I love the horn. If you're familiar with it, it's that super crazy high pitch horn. I'm just, you know, look, I'm a Ferrari guy. Actually, right there, it's a big empty blank canvas right now. But as you can tell, I'm a huge Ferrari fan. I actually do have a Ferrari FF. It's a 2016 model. I'm obsessed with it. Honestly, I would have kept the F355, but I have 5-year-old twins. And you know what? When you're a car guy and your kids are really little and they start asking about cars, you know what? All you want to do is share that passion, that hobby with them. So I upgraded my Ferrari from a 355 Spider to an FF. Pretty nice upgrade. Again, life, business going pretty well. You know, just sort of decided that, you know, that was the right thing to do, right? Share the passions and the hobbies with the families, keep everybody happy. Quick note about the top, does have a hard top. Again, somebody did cool little black stripe there. I like it, carries through to the front. So again, I just love the styling on the car. Big fan of it. And, you know, I just generally think that when it comes to the look and the feel of this car, especially on a track, it's just like the coolest thing. I'll probably interlace a picture or two here and there with, you know, one or two of the pictures that I have of me on the track. Pretty cool. Also, in case you're seeing in the background, a couple extra sets of tires. So we're gonna run our AAA Rs for street tires. I am gonna move to a full slick. So, and by the way, if you run our AAA Rs, you know, there's a lot of people out there that say they're really good, and there's a lot of people out there that say that they're not so good. I run a lot of different cars, a lot of tires on my cars. I'm really actually a huge Michelin fan, believe it or not. I really, really love Michelins. They've just never let me down. But you know what, those Toyos, I'm a huge fan. They do take about maybe 2 laps, where a Michelin might take 1 lap to kind of get some good warmth in them. But man, once they're warmed up, I don't have any complaints. They don't disappoint. I wouldn't mistake them for a full slick. I will be running on the track 15-inch wheels is what the builder I think is recommending. He says he's got an extra set of wheels he's gonna sell me. So 15-inch wheels, full slicks. We're gonna put some real power and handling into this thing. And you know what, I'll still run the AAA Rs just because, I mean, look, the wheel setup looks pretty solid on the car, and I'm just a really huge fan of it. So yeah, that's kind of the initial video shoot. We'll kind of cut this thing up. Maybe I won't, maybe I'll just like splice it in with some other stuff. And in the next clip, I'll talk a little bit more about the actual build itself and what we're gonna do. Cool, thanks. Oh, and my inspiration for it too. That'd be kind of fun to explore. So I hope you guys liked the video, and you know what? Can't wait to share more videos with you as we progress through this build. Super pumped about it, and we'll catch you guys next time.